Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Saturday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go to our friends over in Queensland in particular and go to the beautiful Sunshine Coast and especially to the Maroochydore Surf Life Saving Club. And of course, we've got a very special guest on the show. Of course, his name's Sam Short. He joins us right now. Thanks, Sam, for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you, especially during the lockdown. Happy to help with the boredom.
No worries. Well, it's been a pretty tough year, I guess, in regards to, with what's been happening with the pandemic. But I guess in Queensland, it's not so bad than it is down here in Victoria. How has everything gone in regards to, competition-wise or training-wise up there in Queensland?
Yeah, well, I'm a swimmer, so I swim in the surf races and stuff. I've been able to train properly now in the pool for about 7 weeks. So I'm definitely in a better position than most people. And I think carnivals are meant to start. I've got a meet next weekend, no spectators. So carnivals are up and running again by the end of this month, definitely. So that's fingers crossed. And I've just been originally during the heavier lockdown, I was doing a lot of running, swimming not long because all the restrictions and stuff, but that's easing off at the moment.
Now, you mentioned that you're going to have a carnival or competing in a carnival next weekend without no fans or spectators at all. For you, how strange will that be and how difficult will that be for you?
It'll be a bit weird. It'll be kind of like a training session almost with no one in the stands, but I guess it should be okay. I'm eager to race. I haven't raced in months. So any race is a good race at the moment. I'll take what I can get.
How's the preparations like heading to that carnival?
It could be better because kind of got to go off the flow at the moment. But I think I should be all right. I've done a lot of good training at Centenary in the city with the Rackley squad over there. I'm doing a lot of good training, so I should be in pretty good form come the next couple of weeks.
Now, of course, for you, you've had a bit of a up and down year in regards to, of course, you had a chance to go to the trials. Unfortunately, that's, get to your ultimate goal. How's that been to sort of that minor setback or major setback to make a full recovery and hopefully get back on track and ignore what happened in the past?
Yeah, so I was training for months leading into trials, juniors, and then all that got cancelled. I was, obviously gutted. Took me a couple of weeks just to readjust. Obviously, I was in isolation as well. Everyone was, so had a lot of time to think about that. But now I've set new goals, and I've actually being able to train to them, which is good. And hopefully I'll be able to, well, in my mind, I'm thinking I will be able to race them because you've got to train to race. So for me, I've adjusted to next year goals, or end of this year goals predominantly. Yeah.
And you mentioned about the goals. What are those goals now?
Well, this short course season, I'm hoping on lowering my age group record Australian 800 free, because for the 16 years, and then when I age up, I would like to be fairly competitive and obviously get some good rankings on the board leading into long course season December. And then come December, I would like to have a good states and obviously preparation because we got the new surf season going up after that, and also Olympic trials and the new age trials as well. So those are the big goals, the big picture.
You mentioned about the Olympic trials, obviously with the Olympic Games, well, meant to be done and dusted by now, of course, in Tokyo, but obviously with the pandemic, it's been moved back a year. Has that been a real blessing in disguise in regards to now you've got another year to fulfill your ultimate dream?
Well, definitely I'll be in better shape in a year. I'm only 16, so a year for me is a year for getting older and stronger. I think it'd be worse off if I was like 25, getting older and almost weaker. So I think it's actually a blessing, a bit of a blessing for me. I'll be more competitive come next year, April.
Now, obviously with training and preparing, and especially with all the lockdown that you've had early in the year, I guess, and you mentioned about those sort of things. Tell us a bit about, I guess, the preparations and especially, I guess, the coaching that you've received so far.
So earlier on, because no one could be near each other, we were all having regular Zoom calls with my coaches, telling us what to do, updates, mainly land-based training because all pools were shut. And then when we started to move out of the heavier sort of lockdowns, I was able to train with my squad one day with a coach, which was amazing. It makes training a lot better when you have a coach there. And with the squad as well. So the working environment was kind of there. And then slowly we've been able to get back into the gym and get some, obviously, land-based training in with the gym equipment. And at this current point in time, we've got a full squad and it's pretty much back to normal at this point in time.
Now, you mentioned about the Zoom trainings that you just mentioned, obviously, on dry land. I guess, how difficult was that initially to do things like online, virtually?
Yeah, it was obviously a huge change. I'm not one to be tech savvy, and looking at people through a screen doing exercise with you is kind of weird, but you get used to it. And during that time, everything got flipped online. Like I was doing school online, so it was kind of just another leap at just a hole in the road. I had to get around pretty much. So when doing that online, doing school online, I'm kind of used to it at this point. I've adapted nicely.
What have you learned during these difficult times at the moment?
Definitely that I can only control what I can control. I can't control what like coronavirus is doing or what's getting cancelled, what's being erased. So I can only focus on myself, my training, what I can do at this point in time. And that's definitely helped me like be easier on myself and not beat myself up. Like I can't do this, like it's going to ruin me. Like I'm only 16, I've got plenty of time. So just mainly for me, I've learned to focus on myself and control what I can control.
Now let's talk a bit about your surf life saving. What convinced you to have a go at surf life saving, especially down there at Maroochydore?
Definitely to initially get into it. I'm short, so I've got a terrific history in my family doing surf life saving. Like pretty much all my 5 uncles did surf. My dad was an Australian representative in surf, Australian head coach in surf. I got a couple of my uncles are Australian representatives in surf. So it kind of just ran in the family, and I kind of just got thrown into it. Like I loved it from a young age. I've done it my whole life. Just went hand in hand with swimming.
Now by looking at your amazing CV of in surf lifesaving in particular, you've had some amazing results throughout all those in the 17s and in the Opens in particular as well. Is there one event or one competition that you've been involved in that really stands out to you the most?
Definitely the World Championships, the 2018 held in Adelaide, the World Junior, for the club carnival, and the 200 obs I felt was probably my best performance in surf lifesaving when I won it. 15 years old, against all the bigger Europeans and all that. It was a good atmosphere. So I think 2018 Worlds was a highlight for me in surf at the moment.
Let's talk a bit about that. Did you have any expectations at all going into that? And were you surprised about I guess, your amazing result that you've achieved?
I didn't know what to expect going over there. It was my first international surf lifesaving competition. I didn't know how good they would be, how big they would be, how fast they would be, or even the atmosphere. And then I did my heat swim, and I was second fastest qualifier into the final. I was like, oh, I actually have a chance of this. So kind of got me pumped up in the moment. And the week prior to that, the surf component was before the pool rescue, and I had a hit out with a couple of my mates doing like the team races and the swim races. So I kind of got used to the atmosphere, and that held me in good stead come the pool rescue week.
Have you had a chance to reflect on that achievement especially during the lockdown?
Yeah, definitely. Since I haven't really been able to compete at the bigger carnivals this year, like Worlds was meant to be on as well in Italy, that obviously got cancelled. It's made me think about last Worlds, how I did, how pretty good it was. Like I was 15 and I won it, so I was extremely happy with that. So I've had time to reflect on that and build on it, what I can improve on. Obviously, mainly positives, because got to be proud of your achievements. And so hopefully going to carry that towards next Worlds, whenever it's on.
Great segue to my next question. Obviously, you were selected in the Australian Youth Life-Saving Team squad that was meant to go to Italy next month. As you mentioned, it's been postponed since, or been cancelled since, in the World Life-Saving Championships. For everyone who don't, I guess, know a bit about the World Championships, just tell us a bit about, I guess, the whole event of the World Life-Saving Championships.
So pretty much it's like, like a swimming World Championships, like you got all your countries. The week before is the country, so you got all your national teams, like the Australian team, French team, Italian team, all of those countries, and there's surf race components, beach race components, and pool rescue, all in their respective days. And then the week after that is the club carnival. So all clubs around internationally compete. Some would say it's actually more competitive than the national because everyone can do it. So from in the club carnival the week after, they're the same events, same times, and everyone gets to have a hit out against their best athletes around the world.
Is there one country that you've compared against that's been the toughest?
Definitely all the Europeans really love pool rescue, I've noticed. Okay. Like they embrace it hugely. I would say the French last Worlds had a terrific 4x50 obs, like they broke the world record or something. It's quite impressive, I thought, and they just really soaked it up. Like it was like almost like I'm a part of their culture almost. So
now let's talk a bit about the Australian Surf Post Rescue Championships, which was on the Gold Coast back in this time last year actually. Of course, representing the Queensland Cyclones team. For you, what did that mean to you to represent the state?
Oh, it was an honour. I represented the Open Queensland Cyclones. I was a 200 obs swimmer and a relay, so I was with the big dogs. So I was a huge honour. I had to perform. I had to live up to the standard. I was obviously really excited, but the nerves kicked in. But nerves are good, and I really enjoyed the experience.
Now, of course, you've achieved gold in those pool rescue events in the national and in state. Out of those events that you've won, which one's your favourite event?
200 obstacles, definitely. I like that. It's definitely more towards my strengths. Like I know I'm faster on the swimming component of it, so it's as close to a 200 freestyle as you would get, and I feel I can really capitalize on that, and I like swimming to my strengths.
For everyone out there who have no idea what you mentioned about the obstacles just a moment ago, the actual event, tell us what that entitles.
So it's a 200 freestyle almost, pretty much, and there's per 50, there's 2 sets of obstacles. So they're about meter deep, about a meter deep, and you have to dive under. Most people, the quicker way is do underwater. So dolphin kicks underneath the obstacle. So you do 8 of them for the 200 obs, and it really hurts, burns the lungs by the end. And then, so obviously you swim in between. So it's a 200 freestyle with a huge amount of underwater.
Is it a physical or mental type event?
I would say it's probably equally physical and mental. Like knowing you're about to race and like knowing your lungs are going to be burning by the end is obviously plays a huge factor on your lungs. And physical, you wouldn't be able to do a good 200 obs if you haven't done the training, obviously. So that plays a huge role.
Tell us a bit about your coach.
My coach for pool rescue is my dad. So my dad coaches me through all the pool rescue things. He was Australian Open pool rescue coach, so I've probably got probably one of the best in the field for coaching. So he teaches me all the skills and components in order to do a good 200 obs. And then for the swimming, I swim down at Rackley Centenary under Damien at the city pool there. That's where I do all my swimming training.
What have you learned from both those coaches?
Well, my dad, I've learned a huge amount of stuff. I've learned just focus on yourself. You can't control what the person next to you is doing. Like swim your race. If you swim your race, you'll do good. Like you'll perform because you've done the training. And at Rackley, I've learned that if you can do it in training, you can do it in the race. So train hard, race easy almost.
Now, what does the sport of swimming and surf lifesaving mean to you?
I think it definitely means I love the sport of swimming and surf lifesaving. Like I've done it my whole life. I see it almost as part of my it's almost a way of life for me. Like I've done it my whole life. So I love it. I enjoy it. My whole family does it. A lot of my closest friends do it. So when I think of swimming and surf lifesaving, I think of all my lifelong friends, all my lifelong best achievements, my goals, and obviously my family. So that's what that surf lifesaving and swimming means for me.
Following up on that question, how special is to be part of the Maroochydore surf?
Oh, magnificent. Like my age group, we've been together since we were like 8. So we're extremely close bunch. It's almost like all very, very close friends, all mates. And going up there, it can get competitive, but it also is more fun than competitive. It's almost like a big family almost. Everyone's really close.
What would be your advice to our listeners out there that should get down to the Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club?
I would say give it a go, soak it up. It's a very inviting place. Everyone's nice. They all train hard. Like it's amazing to witness what work actually goes on behind the scenes. I guarantee you every day you'll see some sort of activity or training going on there. So it's good to be a part of. Like it's almost like being part of a movement.
Now let's finish up with a couple of light-hearted questions about your members at the Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club. Firstly, any embarrassing moments by anyone at the Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club by your squad mates?
I know. I was pretty much. Well, we were at Worlds, and almost we were cooking. Like I had to heat up my own food, cook it all, and I think someone put ice cream in like the microwave or something, and it like just completely destroyed it. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, it was just yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was mentioned by someone a couple months ago when I've had someone on the show. So, yes, I do remember that story that was being mentioned. Who's the comedian in the team?
They're all comedians, really, I'd say. Stephen Coombs would be probably the biggest comedian.
Best singer and dancer there at the club?
Singer and dancer, probably Zachary Tabuai. Yeah, Zachary Tabuai.
Now, during obviously the lockdown that you had a couple of months ago, did you try and find something new? And was there a hidden talent that you didn't think you had?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my talent, but I can't run at all, but I was running actually fairly regularly. I wouldn't say it's my talent, but I tried it, and you do see improvements when you do stick at something for a long time.
Now, do you have a pre-competition superstition or ritual?
Yes, definitely. I always race in the same swim cap. I always wear black swim cap, black goggles, black togs. And if it's a big race, I always walk out wearing Beats headphones.
Nice. Any songs on that playlist before
Eminem's always a reliable pump up song. Yeah.
Very good. Now, of course, be missing me to finish off with these last two questions. Now, obviously, being there at the Surf Lifesaving Club, obviously other than competition, obviously the most important part is obviously patrolling the beaches and keeping everyone safe. What does that mean to you?
Obviously, it's something you have to do to be able to race, compete in the sport you train for. So I see it as it's almost like an obligation. Like if you compete in surf lifesaving, it goes hand in hand with patrolling, like as a normal lifeguard should. So I see if you're training the skill of racing and lifesaving, you're more than fit to be a lifesaver on patrol. And it's not hard. You get treated fairly well. You get given food, so and you get to see your friends. So it's not all bad.
And of course, we'll finish off with this one last one. Now, two-part question. The first part of it is, now I know you don't want to single anyone out there at the club, but tell us, I guess, maybe a top 5 surf lifesaver athletes other than yourself that I guess stands out to you at the club, boys and girls.
I know Joseph McMenamin, extremely hard worker and performs really well when racing. I highly respect him. Matthew Magnuson, he works very hard and he gets everything he deserves. I respect Tiani Massey a lot. She has got phenomenal results and trains very hard. Stephen Coombs, no, he is all laughs, but he trains very hard behind the Scenes. And also Zachary Tabuai trains very hard behind the scenes as well.
And of course, one final one. Mentioned a couple of times in the previous questions, including the one you just mentioned before. Family feel atmosphere, but obviously you train and compete really hard and represent the club really well. Is that how you feel in regards to, I guess, everyone really joining it as a community and as a family atmosphere?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Oftentimes you'll be racing in a national final or Australian surf lifesaving final, and in the top 10, 5 of them will be Maroochydore members. It's extremely dominant. So, it's easy. It's amazing to be able to switch on, race them, and then switch off and be mates again. So it's a great atmosphere, and everyone really does come together for that.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. Obviously, we can't wait to see you back in the pool again very soon, and especially, obviously, you mentioned that next week's the carnival with no fans, but hopefully it's the start of hopefully get to see you at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 and obviously into the future as well, and hopefully we get to come up to Queensland ourselves once we all get out of lockdown here in Melbourne and come and visit Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me.
No worries. And that's Sam Short there from the Maroochydore Surf Life Saving Club. Because if you are in Queensland, especially on the Sunshine Coast, of course, make sure to get down to the Maroochydore Surf Life Saving Club and of course, inquire about how you can get involved. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Saturday.